What's up everybody, once again my name is Matt and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. That's right, we're back here in Termina. Why, you might ask? Well, there are still a few things that I want to show off, so I'll be making a few bonus videos to cover some extra content. Today we are going to be looking at the Fierce Deity's Mask by going back and challenging all 5 of the major bosses of this game while wearing it. Before we do that though, I want to show off this really cool glitch you can do with this mask. Now this glitch can be done on any version of the game, so if you've downloaded the 1.1 patch, you should still be able to do this no problem. That being said, first things first, make sure you do not have the Fierce Deity glitch equipped to any of your item slots. Then, switch into first person mode by hitting the picto box. While in first person, open up your mask menu, grab the Fierce Deity mask and put that on either the X or Y button. Then press B to go back into first person, and now what you want to do is press L and whatever button you have the Fierce Deity mask equipped to at the same time, and doing so should allow you to switch out of first person and immediately transform into Fierce Deity Link. So there we go, man. Now you can pretty much be Fierce Deity Link anywhere in the entire game, and there is lots of fun to be had with this glitch, especially here in Clocktown, because yeah, the game does not expect you to be this big, so you can climb on all sorts of stuff. Anyways, there is one major issue with this glitch that I want to point out, and that's, if you try to go in a door, it'll actually crash the entire game and, like, freeze up your entire console. Like, it won't even boot you back to the 3DS menu, so if you can, avoid going indoors. Otherwise, you should be able to do this glitch pretty much anywhere else. Alright, so now that I've showed this off, what do you say we start taking on some bosses as Fierce Deity Link? So, I guess logically we should start with Woodfall Temple, so I'll see you guys there. Alright, are you guys ready for some Fierce Deity fun? Let's do this and re-challenge our good friend Odolwa. Now, Odolwa was never actually like the hardest boss in this game by any means, so I imagine he's going to die very, very quickly to our Fierce Deity power, because like, we've only briefly seen the glimpse of the power of this mask, you know, when we were fighting Majora, so doing this on like a normal boss, yeah, I don't imagine they're gonna last very long, although Odolwa can block our sword laser, so maybe he will last a little bit longer. But yeah, going into these rematches, basically the only strategy that you really need is just target onto them and then spam the crap out of the B button. Eventually, you'll be able to kill them, and holy crap, Odolwa is already done, so yeah, that was very, very quick. Alright, so that's one boss down, and 4 more to go. So, I guess the next boss is Goht back in Snowhead Temple, so I will see you guys once I get to the boss chamber. Alright, so here we go. We've made it up to the boss chambers of Snowhead Temple. And there's good old Goht just frozen there. So very quickly, let me get some magic and some arrows. That way, you know, we can unfreeze this guy. And then we'll take him on as Fierce Deity, which is going to be very, very interesting. Because, as you guys know, Goht runs around in a giant circle. And, you know, we're not exactly the fastest thing alive as Fierce Deity. So we're going to have to get creative in the way that we fight him. But don't worry, it's actually a lot of fun. So let's do this, man. Although, I should probably transform into Fierce Deities first, so there we go. Now, instead of chasing after Goht, instead, just go the other way, because eventually he's going to run into us, so there's no reason for us to chase after him. Now, the second you see him, yeah, just spam your Fierce Deity sword and like your sword lasers or whatever until you knock him down. If you do knock him down, then congratulations, you pretty much just won the entire fight off of that, because now all you gotta do is stick close to him, and every time you get close to him, just spam the crap out of your sword, because you'll pretty much instantly attack him and then instantly knock him down right after that if you keep spamming. So as long as you keep spamming, this fight will be over in a matter of seconds, and there we go. He is already done. Like I said, guys, very, very easy. Like, that speeds up this fight so much, and then you don't have to deal with any of the Goron rolling or like any of the falling pillars or anything like that. So yeah, it's a lot more fun with the Fierce Deity's Mask in my opinion. Anyways, now that that is done, I guess the next boss would be the one of Great Bay Temple, so I will see you guys there in a quick second. Alright, so now it's time to take on one of my favorite bosses, Gyorg. And, unfortunately, this is where the usefulness of the Fierce Deity's Mask starts to take a dive, at least until we go to the final boss, Majora, because the changes that they made to both the Gyorg and Twin Mold fight actually don't allow you to use the Fierce Deity's Mask to its full potential. Like, you pretty much can't even use it in the Twin Mold fight, and, here in the Gyorg fight, really the only thing that you can do is attack Gyorg from far away using the sword lasers during the first phase. Like, during the second phase, when the platform sinks down, you really can't use Fierce Deity at all to attack him, so you kinda need to do this fight the way they intended you to, no matter what. So, since there's really not a whole lot of explaining that needs to be done, I guess we can talk about the origin of the Fierce Deity's Mask, or rather, theories behind it, because really, we don't know where this mask originally came from. Like, we know, the kid wearing Majora's Mask gave it to us, but we don't really know why he gave it to us. Like, why would he give us a mask this powerful that we can use to defeat him? And the theory behind that is, Majora was actually once imprisoned inside of Majora's Mask by someone wearing the Fierce Deity's Mask, or perhaps the original, like, Fierce Deity himself, because the naming of the mask, like Fierce Deities, it's weird that it says Fierce Deities and not like Fierce Deity Mask, so it's weird that it uses like the plural form of that, which implies that a Fierce Deity was a thing or a person at some point. And that mask is like the sort of spirit of them, I guess you could say. And it's weird too, because when Link puts that on, he transforms into the Fierce Deity. Like, with the other transformation masks, like for instance the Zora mask, we don't exactly transform into Macau. We look like Macau, but we still have, like, you know, that green skirt or a green hat or something like that to maintain the fact that it's Link. But when you transform into Fierce Deity, you don't really have anything that would signify that you're still actually Link. Like, it still has the hat, but it's not a green hat. It's a, you know, gray or silver hat, and perhaps the Fierce Deity spirit just happened to have that hat at the time. So, yeah, it's very, very interesting. But, the theory that's going around is that Majora gave you the mask because he hoped to defeat not only Link, but also the Fierce Deity spirit, thus sort of, I guess, fully freeing Majora. I don't really know. The Majora's Mask, like Zelda manga, sort of touches on that briefly, but I've never actually read it, so I don't know all the details about it, but it's definitely an interesting theory. And at some point, maybe I'll get around to actually reading the manga and understanding it more. But from my small understanding, that's all really that I can give you. Anyways, now that this is done, let's make our way over to Stone Tower and challenge Twin Mold. Alright, so this section is going to be entirely post-commentated. As you can probably tell, I sped up the video a lot, and I did that because the changes they made to this particular boss battle pretty much make it so the Fierce Deity's Mask is entirely useless. Like, you can use it to hit the eyeballs on the bottom of the blue Twin Mold, but it's very difficult since you can't actually target them directly. You can still use the mask to attack the eyeball once you do shoot down the blue Twin Mold to do a bunch of damage, but that's really the extent of the mask's usefulness in this fight. Like, they sort of made it so you really have to defeat this boss using the Giant's Mask, because I don't believe there's any way you can actually damage the red twin mold without it, even if you use the Fierce Deity's Mask. So I just sped things up to save us some time, since it really is more or less just the same exact fight. And if you do want to see me fight twin mold normally, and better might I add, I would just recommend going and watching the third video I did inside of Stone Tower Temple, and I believe that's the one where I fight the boss. It might actually even be titled, you know, Giant Insect Twin Mold or something like that. So just look for that on my video page, and that's where I fight Twin Mold. And obviously I go more into detail of, you know, how exactly to fight him, my strategy behind how I fought him, and a very important tip you can do to make the fight go by faster and stuff like that. So that's really where you should go if you're having trouble with this fight and you want to know an easy way to defeat him. This is more or less just to show off the Fierce Deity's Mask, which is why I think speeding this up isn't really that big of a deal. Anyways, this should be the final hit, so yeah, there we go. Twin Mold is down. So the only boss left after this is Majora himself. So I guess I will just see you guys once we get to the moon and take on Majora. Alright, so here we are in the final boss chamber. This time around, though, we're doing the entire thing as Fierce Deity Link. So, let's go. And, honestly, I think this is one of the best rewards in any video game for reaching 100% completion. Because, like, obviously, game design would tell you that, yeah, you want to make your final boss really hard. That way, when the player does actually defeat it, you know, he's rewarded or whatever, and he feels good about himself or, you know, whatever. But, like, the thing is, 100%ing Majora's Mask and making everyone else happy is a lot harder than the actual final boss of this game. And the whole theme of Majora's Mask is to make other people happy. And when you make other people happy, you in turn are normally pretty glad about that. So, like, I think it plays well into the theme of Majora's Mask. And even though using the Fierce Deity Mask in the final battle sort of makes it kind of anticlimactic, I don't think it takes away from the game at all in any means, just because of all the stuff you had to go through and all the other people you had to help out just to get this mask. I really think, like, it actually adds to the game a little bit, and like I said, it's one of the best rewards for 100% completing a game, like, ever. But, yeah, as you can see, this time around, all phases of Majora are really, really easy. Like, all you have to do, target onto him, and just spam the crap out of the B button. That's really it. Like, honestly, you don't even need another strategy, because all the phases are susceptible to the same exact thing. So already, phase 2 is done. And now we're moving on to the final phase. Oh, man, this should be interesting. So here we go. We're taking on Majora's Wrath. And, I said interesting, but I kind of lied because, like I said, if you just target and spam the B button, he really can't even do anything to you. And, wow, he is already done. So, that was quicker than I expected, honestly. Alright, so that is it for all 5 of the bosses. And now you guys understand the power that Fierce Deity actually has. Oh man, that was a lot of fun. I actually do enjoy going back and fighting the bosses again as Fierce Deity, because it's something you should always do, especially if you get the mask, since it really is so much fun. Alright, so there's still a couple of things that I do want to show off. Like, I want to show off the fishing holes, because I totally forgot to show those off before we actually finish the game, because, really, there's no reason to actually go into the fishing holes, believe it or not. Like, you don't need to go in there at all for 100% completion, but I still want to show them off just because they are something new that they added to the game. So we'll probably do that next, and maybe show off a couple of Easter eggs in the meantime. So there still might be like 1 or 2 extra bonus videos. We'll see. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for this video, so if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.